Mind delusions acquainted, bubbles erotica, plutonium wedding rings, icicle stretchings, bicycle shoestrings, one flag, flagma one, painting, the paintings of your life. Yeah, anyway, that was a bit of System of a Down, but now you're through to Sexy Toilet podcast, aren't you? My name's
Hello.
Professor No. Yeah, my name's Professor No Fun. I'm here with my good friend and sexual inferior, like like dot
Yeah, but
spotters.
I'm sexually inferior in your masochistic cockholding. You know,
Exactly.
mate. I'm a sexual Adonis. I'm a sexual Trojan horse. You think you're getting something really nice, but then you're getting something much more violent.
Like, so what? You're a sexual Trojan horses. You wait outside Greek men's houses until they let you in, and then when they've let you in, suddenly you burst out with a lot of angry Greek men.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
How
how
do you
that
have
works.
sex?
Fun.
How do
The
you have
usual
sex?
way. Like
Which
you
is?
find a girl, you find a girl's OnlyFans. Like you say, I'll give you 4 Bitcoin for some feet pics, and then like you send her the Bitcoin, and then she says, "I'm a Nigerian man."
I'm not. See, I'm not really up.
Traditional way.
It's.
Like,
I like the old-fashioned way. Trebuchet. Whoever's
oh,
got
and
the
like,
biggest trebuchet is cock of the walk. You know what I mean? You come up, you park up in the pub car park.
mm,
You're all there, and in your trebuchets.
yeah.
Boom box coming out the back.
Hmm.
Some of them girlfriends are questionable age, questionable, and you're
Like, could be
there.
too old, could be too young.
I think it's usually on the too young side. And then you go and compete with your trebuchets down across near the McDonald's.
Mm. I thought it was the other way, where you sit in the trebuchet bucket, pull your trousers down, and say, "Fire me at Tel Aviv, I'm ready." Yeah,
That's more of the modern use.
I see. Yeah.
That's more than the modern day. You mainly in the 90s.
Hmm.
If you
Well, of course,
remember,
I mean, yeah.
if you remember Max Power Trebuchet edition,
Mm.
the
Oh God,
magazine
yeah.
that came I think it was every month, and you could
Max
get the
Hardcore, you mean? Not Max Power. Yeah.
Max Power was
Yeah.
the gay version basically.
Ah, I see.
It's
Yeah,
for
yeah.
gay men who were into cars,
Mm.
whereas real Max Power is about the trebuchet and how heavy and how far you could get something launched using just wood and rope.
Mm. And the physics of counterweight trebuchets, yes. But like, nah, truly, I'm a Mangalel fan. Like trebuchets can suck it. Like torsion engines rather than opposed weight trebuchets. But yeah. But you
It's
probably
not
like sapping.
it's not
You probably like
natural though.
sapping and mining. That's your disgusting siege method, isn't it? Oh, just tunnel under the walls. Disgusting.
No.
We'll set fire to some pigs down there.
The pigs, fair enough, because
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
usually comes in combination with the trebuchet.
Mm.
And I tell you what, the women go wild. You fire some flaming plague pigs over their fucking battlements,
Yeah.
you are getting some tonight.
The knickers just dissolve. Like
Well,
like
literally, because
Alka-Seltzers. Yeah.
they've got some sort of infection, and it is rotting whatever clothing they've got. But
Like
it's the Dark
it,
Ages. I don't care.
it eats cotton away. That's perfect.
Nice.
Mm. I only like my women dressed in 100% polyester though. Trap
Is that
odors, you know.
is that because your hair will be then attracted as well?
Oh yeah, like it's like a light S&M thing with the static shocks. Like what I like to do is get a woman in a full like polyester shell suit and just start rubbing her against the carpet as fast as I can.
Come on, Duck. I've got a
Like,
nylon rod. We're gonna
then we got,
We're gonna power some machines. There was an
then we
episode
both
of
yeah.
Rescue Rangers like that, and that it haunts me to this day.
Really? Well, they
Yeah,
use static electricity to power a machine.
yeah, but they used cats. thousands of cats to
Yeah.
create, which I didn't understand because the robotic arms that manage these cats were also using electricity
See, now
plugged into the mains.
this is animals being used to power robots, and this is territory that we've covered in this podcast before. This is fucking Robotnik Elon Musk territory.
It was at the same time, and the man was ginger with a
When you
mustache.
when
He
you
was
start
short,
looking
though.
around, yeah, when you start looking around for it in the world, like animals powering machines, you start to notice it a lot more. Like that's why I think like the iPhone, that's all crickets, isn't it? It's powered by crickets.
I don't know. I think we've kind of we're moving
Mm.
away from animals within things. I mean, I was reading the other day about a spit dog.
A spit dog,
A spit dog.
like a dog for spitting on, or a specialist kind of World War II fighter dog. I don't understand.
Well, you know, like spits over fires.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
They'd
yeah.
use them as a little dog engine.
I understand. Yeah, you put like a little dog in like a little hamster wheel, and it turns your meat around for you.
Yeah, well, dog
Yeah,
engine. And then when they
and I
started
have
doing
like
it with
a
horses
literal.
on,
Hmm.
they did it on horses, but on like cars. So you had
Yeah.
like 4 horses for wheels.
No, it was like the first car that was ever invented was invented by, let's say, Thomas Marlowe, the playwright, in 1608, let's say, and that was all. That was just him, but he'd got one of them carry around boxes. You know, those boxes that you use for men to carry around in.
Oh yeah. Like it looks like a toilet, but with handles, really big
Yeah, yeah,
handles. Yeah.
yeah, like a porta potty, but like with handles, and usually men with no shirt, still wearing bow ties, carry around in it. Anyway,
It's very Italian.
yeah, but it was just one of them. But instead of men, he just strapped 4 goats to each like handle. And that was Thomas Marlowe's car.
I'd have.
He was a forward thinker. Like nowadays,
No, like that wouldn't cost much though. No petrol. No petrol involved.
well, you can feed the goats on petrol. They're the goats. They're stupid. They'll eat anything. But like, you really don't want that kind of performance. That kind of like, because for the accelerator, you did actually have a pedal fitted in the box, but like the pedal just like you pressed it down and it just electrocuted the goats.
Where's he getting the electric from? I thought he'd be more like something like paddling your arse. Like,
Oh yeah,
come on!
no. He had a different goat for the electricity.
See,
Like a different goat and a generator. Exactly.
with a diode.
Like it was a goat, and its job was to power the diesel generator that it had.
That didn't run on diesel.
Like, no, it ran on goat. Goat cheese, goat milk. A man can live off a goat. Is basically what I'm saying. Like, and in many ways, I don't think we appreciate like the work that goats have done to get us to this level.
I was told by a man that in Jamaica, goats are like cats and dogs, and they're just feral.
Makes sense to me.
And they beg for change.
All right, they come into your house and say, you know, that they live there now, and then you look at them, and like you look at your own deeds for your house that like you had framed up on the wall because you were so proud of getting that first mortgage. But instead of your signature, it just says "goat" on it.
Well,
and it's written in this goatish handwriting.
Well, what I heard is if you
Visual joke doesn't work on a podcast, but imagine what a goat's handwriting looks like. No, sorry.
scratchy or broken, like most things, they will open your Christmas presents.
I think a dog would write in cursive.
I always thought a dog would be something more like impactive, like impact.
Like an impact font, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Cats would be more scriptive.
cats, I think, would be like the Fraktur font, you know, like the World War II Germany one.
No, that's a bit
Like,
much. I mean, I think they would
like Gothic and elaborate is what I'm getting at.
No, I'm just a bit more subdued. Maybe a serif. Bit more
Or a sans serif. Yeah.
I always took my cat as a Helvetica kind of cat.
Well, it's in the name, isn't it? Helvetica cat. Helvetica's just
is it? Oh, it's Helvetica.
It's Helvetica cat. You've been pronouncing it wrong the whole time.
Well, no, Helveta is a Swedish swear word.
Ah.
That's why I was remembering it.
Helveti were a Roman tribe, a Celtic tribe that lived in what's now Switzerland. The Romans named them that.
I think it just means hell. Hell or
Ah.
something like that.
Yeah, because we share the same, ancient Norse and ancient English were pretty much the same language. They were mutually intelligible even in the Viking Age. So we share the same word for hell. Even though Viking hell was meant to be freezing cold.
Well, proper hell's supposed to be freezing cold. They haven't. I
Some
mean,
say
how
it's,
the fuck do you pay a fucking heating bill down there? There's no PayPal. There's no fucking pay points.
You've seen Satan himself trying to get to the post office so we can do it by check.
Fucking.
They're like,
could you imagine how far you've got to walk with your gas key? Get that.
he's there with his, yeah.
There's not many petrol stations in hell.
No.
Or corner shops.
And he was taken off the bill package, so he had to go around with the key because, you can't really make a deal with him, can you?
Wow.
Like every time he'd ring up.
British Gas tried.
Yeah, but they were too evil even for him.
He ended up owing it about £1 trillion. He only had it a month.
Yeah. That was just from his fucking 3-bar range, making brisket for all the, the Jewish people who are in hell.
Fucking hell, man.
Mm.
I can't imagine the amount of gas he got through. What was he doing? You might as well get a fucking coal fire if you're going to use that much.
It was all his barbecues, man. He tried for a coal fire, but he was always down the petrol station waiting on charcoal briquettes, wasn't he?
It's like, fuck, dude, you're not a middle-aged woman. You're not that cold. Put a jumper on.
No.
Put a jumper on. Have a run around a bit. You don't need it that fucking warm.
Yeah, I remember getting those calls from Satan himself when you were about 14 years old. He'd text you on your Nokia 3310, and it'd come up on the blue and the green and black screen. Mm-hmm. And it'd say, "Oi, you want to help me steal 50, 60 tons of charcoal briquettes from front of petrol stations tonight?
I'll give you some money."
They don't keep the charcoal briquettes inside. It's like the flowers they sell at petrol stations.
Well, why would you keep charcoal indoors?
Well, why would you keep it outside next to the flammable petrol? That's just asking for trouble, isn't it?
I don't know, because I haven't seen much charcoal that combusts instantaneously. It's like saying putting coal next to paper's going to set on fire.
Yeah, but when I go around your house dropping oily rags, you say, "Stop that, that's a fire hazard."
Yeah, because
they're just oily rags and bits of cotton that I'm dropping.
Because I clean my floors with pure alcohol. It's the only thing It's the only thing that gets the stains out.
That and the desperate men who come round to lick your floors. Perfect arse-up position for you.
Well, it covers up the alcohol use.
Yeah. No, if your house...
If cops come round, they're not going to even know that I've cleaned up. They just think somebody's licking my floor.
I'm not running an illegal brewery, officer. I just clean my floors with pure grade alcohol. Yeah.
Yes, brewery. Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
There's no alco gas.
What, you mean like smoke it?
No, like it comes in a blue velvet style inhaler. Like NO2.
No, you can get that.
Ah. Where?
Just get some vodka and put it in a pan. With a fucking towel over your head.
Tea towel over you. Yeah, we've all done that. We've all
Like a,
eyeballed some whiskey in that way.
yeah, like fucking.
Yeah.
It works. It's true.
Mm.
It works. I wouldn't recommend it for getting pissed though.
Well, it's like that all-calling sauna that you invented.
Well, like a really quick way of doing it, if you haven't got a
Mm.
range or anything like that, is just
Yeah.
breathe in a pint of lager.
Yeah.
Just get the
Just like.
lager, put it to your mouth, and instead of
Mm.
like swallowing it, you just go.
What I like to do is like wad up some toilet paper, yeah, and swallow it, but make sure it doesn't actually, swallow it so it goes down into my stomach, but make sure it doesn't go actually down into my stomach, so it cuts off my stomach, and then I can just open my gullet as wide as possible and just pour alcohol in, and that goes straight into the lungs, and that's a quick, cheap way of getting drunk.
And if you warm it up as well, you're gonna stay
Oh
warm all
yeah,
week. All week.
add some cinnamon and some currants, and it becomes a nice Christmassy kind of feeling.
Mulled
Like
wine, mulled lungs.
you drink a pint of mulled wine, Carling.
Maybe not Carling, but mulled. I'd drink a pint of mulled wine, but not Carling.
No, no, it's Christmas Carling. And they've said, oh, here's some lovely Carling for you for the Christmas season. 'Cause it's coming up now, isn't it? It's October now. That means it's Christmas.
It's Christmas
But like,
tomorrow. Yeah.
like, no, and that was their specialist thing. You went to the working men's club,
Yeah.
and you got your £2.35 pint of Carling on special offer. And I said, that's room temperature, mate. That's how you want it. And I said, but because it's Christmas, we've mulled it up a bit for you. We've stuck like a bay leaf and a cinnamon stick and some currants in there.
That's just ruined the current cinnamon bay leaf. That does.
I know.
I don't
Because
want
Colin-
I don't want my cinnamon to taste like piss.
I think it's like a equal opportunities thing that like their whole factory is just blind men with no sense of taste or decency, like squeezing cat piss into Jack Cock like cans for you.
I mean, I don't know how you managed to fuck up lager. To be honest.
Much meant to taste of nothing.
Saying that, I can't think of a lager that's actually worth.
Some German ones are right.
Yeah, but then there'd be beers, wouldn't they?
I know they're the actual lagers.
Lager.
Mega white thing, mega white thing, smiled at you, boy.
A beluga whale. I've never been stared at by a beluga whale.
You've never been stared at by a beluga whale?
Never. Sunfish. Dead in the eyes. Right in the fucking eyes, one on one. Beluga whale,
like,
no.
They're bastards for that sunfish, but when you start something, unless there's 4 or 5 of them, then, they're just back off. They're like, oh no, I wasn't looking at anything. I wasn't looking at anything, pal. I'm just waiting for my bus.
To be fair,
but if there's 4 or 5 of them around, they'll have your Oyster card.
Well, there was only one at the time. It was the size of a mini. Look, I didn't have anything on me, so I don't think anything would happen. But fucking hell.
No, they're only deadly in a swarm, innit?
A swarm of sunfish.
Mm.
The size of a small sedan.
Yeah, dragging themselves across land, crushing themselves under their body weight, looking for 20 pence, my 20 pence.
Give me 20 pence, I'm a sunfish. What do you want it for? The phones.
Yeah,
and he called me mum, and he called me mum, and I've just come out of the hospital, and he called me mum and my girlfriend who's pregnant.
The driver kicked me off the bus because he was racist. But yeah.
But you're a white whale. Yeah, he's a black.
Yeah.
He was a black racist.
He was Idris Elba.
Idris Elba was on the bus, and he was like, "I'm the king of England. Get off, you sunfinch."
Idris Elba there, he was on a bus, right, and he was kicking everyone off the bus who said he couldn't play James Bond. Like he was driving towards the Houses of Parliament saying, "Make me James Bond, motherfucker," and then then I got off the bus.
I saw him. Right. There's this
Yeah.
old woman. She was just sitting there. She was like 1970s old woman. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like
Yeah.
she should have been dead 50 years ago old.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Like full on, like
she,
Mary Whitehouse.
yeah, but he basically was Mary Whitehouse but alive.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the fucking prodding he was doing on her chest, you could fucking hear the bones snap. He was like, "What do you think about me being fucking James Bond?" And she was like, "I don't really watch him, lovey." And he says, "Well, you're gonna have to fucking think about it, aren't you, mate?"
Mm. Like
I knew
yeah.
he was a wrong one after that.
Huh? It was when he insisted on digitally altering the guns of now Roan, so he was in it.
Oh.
And the Great Escape too. Every classic British cultural property of American-made movies from the '60s, it has Idris Elba in there.
I can believe that.
Mhm.
He does seem to be
Apart,
in everything.
apart from Escape to Victory, which is Chitwell Ejiofor.
I hear they're going to replace Michael Caine in the Italian Job with Idris Elba.
They are, yeah. Like, if you've noticed it, what they've gradually been doing, yeah, is just adjusting the contrast on Michael Caine's character every time they re-show it on ITV4.
Ah. Well, fucking thing is,
It just looks a little bit darker, and then eventually they just reshoot it with Idris Elba.
I mean, I have seen it. He didn't def for that much because there wasn't that much dialogue anyway. But the thing is, he ruined the last line because instead of saying, "Wait, lads, I got a plan," he just like stared with his mouth half open, covered in sweat, and that was acting.
No, man. Just because he's devastatingly handsome, we're meant to believe that's acting.
I was
Just
going to
because
say,
he's
just having a face like you've just like, but without the sound.
yeah. Did he not say his catchphrase?
He didn't.
His reset the clock catchphrase from that terrible kaiju movie.
No, he didn't say it once. He didn't even reference it.
He's been doing it like he's been doing that catchphrase ever since he was in Luther for the BBC. Like it didn't make sense when he was just playing a hard-bitten detective discovering murders. He just said reset the clock, but like, you know.
Maybe they'll add that into the Italian Job too, when they bring that out when he's the cause.
Oh yeah.
Like he's got a bunch of guys who need to steal Idris Elba because he's the fastest car in the world.
Oh no, I watched the shit out of a movie where Idris Elba plays the fastest car in the world. Especially if there's like absolutely no makeup or effort to make him look like a car. It's just him carrying around people in a piggyback.
Oh no, he doesn't even fucking carry him. They just run around in fours.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah.
They just run around in like four of them.
Yeah.
Like, and he goes rum, 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 rum.
And he's there at the front being the engine, like being a car.
Yeah, but and like they intercut it with like footage from the first Gran Turismo.
Oh
just
yeah.
To make sure you know you're on about it's all about cars.
The Gran Turismo on PS1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to make sure it's about cars.
Yeah, I did like that. Well, people wouldn't know it was about cars unless you included like either Gran Turismo or like at least one of the Need for Speed series.
Anything post Test Drive 5 as well. Not this
Taxi.
not Forza shit.
Yeah. Oh no, Forza, fuck off. It's not even about cars. It's actually horse racing. It's just the graphics are so bad.
I mean, Crazy Taxi.
I was about to mention Crazy Taxi. Yeah, that's different because that's not that's a game with a real plot line. It's not even about the car.
And all of it's a true story.
Every second of Crazy Taxi is a true story, just like Grand Theft Auto 3.
I mean, the Offspring who did the soundtrack, they have a non-disclosure agreement over the what happened around Crazy Taxi.
It's true. That fella who plays guitar on Offspring, who looks like a maths teacher. You know the one I'm talking about. The fella with
Dexter.
grey hair.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dexter.
like
No,
he.
Noodles is
Yeah,
the one with the
Noodles.
glasses. Yeah,
Dexter's the lead
he's
singer
the
fella
blonde one.
who's
Yeah.
like Dexter's the guy who looks like the prototype for the guy from Sum 41. Like it's like we can make
I
an
always
even
thought he looked
uglier,
like.
even blonder punk singer.
I always thought he just looked like Stretch Armstrong with spiky hair.
Yeah, he does look like Stretch Armstrong. He's got that, but he's got an overhanging brow, hasn't he? He's got a jutting brow.
He's got a jutting, gelatinous face.
Yeah,
It's a contradiction, like Jello.
it's a bit like Brendan Fraser and Psycho Man.
Anyway, Noodles.
Yeah. Yeah, like he's tried to get out into public about what he's done, without facing any kind of legal recourse. So he's been on Twitter trying to drop hints about, the true story of Crazy Taxi and what went on in it. But, we can't, because he says things like asparagus, then triple paraphrenesis, Weinstein, and then triple and then and people are trying to follow these cryptic tweets and put it all together, but we just don't have the basic information.
It's, to be fair, it's not really obvious when people do see when you're driving around with these different distances to main brands such as KFC or Burger King or Tower Records.
Yeah.
You don't really understand what's going on.
No, it's like you don't understand the meta narrative that's going on there, because it's a very deep game. Like people say, these Last of Us games that they're bringing out now are art, but they never played Crazy Taxi, did they?
No, I mean it comes down to the very fundamentals of the human condition. I need KFC, and I need to be drove there in a theatrical, dramatic, and dangerous way.
Yeah, how does
that not come off as exactly what it is, which is completely sophisticated?
With a type of slapstick sexual humour that only occurred in the years 1998 till 2004, I want to say. The Bloodhound Gang era.
I mean, yes.
They
were kind of the peak of this movement.
They were. Like Dada in many ways, I thought. Like the... Very much like or the post-impressionists.
Yeah, but with Dada, it's more about just absurdity rather than this pinpointed, precise intellectual discourse.
Yeah.
That you get from the Bloodhound Gang.
I think that their greatest work was probably the video to Foxtrot Uniform Charlie Kilo, which it's got Steve-O, Steve-O from Jackass. And he's driving around in a hot dog shaped car, and the joke is, and it took me years to work this out, but the joke is that a car looks like a penis.
Shit. And
yeah.
Wait.
Blown.
Wait. It's a hot dog, isn't it?
Is that hot dog? Yeah, hot dog.
Fucking hell.
Even.
How did I miss that?
It works on another level too, because you know what a different word for hot dog is?
What?
Wiener.
Fuck. I feel like a fucking idiot now.
I know, man. It took me. I went to university and I studied communications.
I've got fucking PhDs, and I didn't even fucking spot that.
Years and years of work. I was discussing it with Ludwig Wittgenstein, the dead philosopher, and he was the one who explained to me that Steve-O from Jackass was driving around in a car that looked like a penis, and also Foxtrot Uniform Charlie Kilo is the NATO phonetic alphabet, and those words spell out the word fuck. But of course, they weren't brave enough to put the word fuck in a song because it was illegal back then.
Oh,
no one had ever done it.
I feel
certainly
like
not
fucking fool now.
I know.
I always thought the title was a little weird. I mean, I understood there was it was this kind of phonetic thing, but I never really thought about it. I just thought it was just like some sort of reference to the kind of the American military infrastructure. But
Understood that. Yeah, I thought it might have been a reference to say working long hours in a call center style job where you often have to use the NATO phonetic alphabet. Like
that makes a
that's
bit
what
more
that was.
makes
Yeah,
a bit more sense, I suppose. But there's no what they couldn't have done that. I mean, the Wiener idea, yeah, that's pretty good. I like that. I mean, fair enough, it went over my head, but
yeah,
making this song called "Fuck,"
yeah.
that
It turns out
that just goes
all
beyond me at that point.
all the lyrics are like some hyper advanced euphemism for sex. It's like
What?
really. Like it never occurred to me. I thought it was just a fun song. Like I didn't really get the meaning. It was a bit like "Birdhouse in My Soul" by They Might Be Giants. But
Or
no,
what's that? Like Constantinople.
yeah, by They Might Be Giants. But like no, it turns out like throw the like what's it? Vulcanize the whoopee stick in the boink swatter is actually a euphemism for sexual intercourse.
That's fucking ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous.
I know.
I mean, even the publicist didn't say that.
And what's so brilliant about them, I think, is that like at the time there was literally no taboo about mentioning sex in songs. People had been doing it since the since the
Well,
1950s at least.
for me, it's not so much that it's a song about
Yeah,
sex, but I used
yeah.
it as a reasoning for a budgetary increase.
Yeah, I remember that speech he made before Parliament. That was it was brave, but in many ways I think misinterpreted.
It fucking went through, though, didn't it?
Yeah,
Ultimately, went through.
it's true. Now we've got 4% more for the beating of donkeys in public squares in the United Kingdom.
Well, we've seen a massive decline in donkey-related mischief.
It's true. Like
How many donkeys have you seen slapping around small kids?
none since the budget increase went through. And all it took was for them to be brutally beaten with hammers and breeze blocks in public
You-
squares every Tuesday and Wednesday night.
Well, there you go. You're welcome. Anyway,
Anyway,
I think we went.
yeah,
we
I
said
think we
a
covered
lot.
that subject, don't we?
Thought we
Yeah.
saw what it was about.
Yeah.
So,
Do you reckon it was over the top for Adobe Acrobat Reader yet to rename the entire sport of tumbling to promote its own Adobe Acrobat Reader?
I don't think that's that unplausible.
Mm.
I mean, the word didn't really exist until Adobe, but
Yeah. Well, when no one you'd say, "Are you going to watch the rhythmic tumbling at the Olympics today?" And you'd say to your mate, "Well, I mean, I might, but you shouldn't be because like a lot of those girls are like 15, 16 years old, man. Like it's weird." And they're like, "Oh, all right. Like I didn't mean to start this conversation. I thought we were on the level here." And you said, "Well,
I'm gonna leave now.
yeah, I'm sorry. I'll just wait for the bus at a different stop."
Don't talk to my wife.
But yeah, what's your favourite Winter Olympic sport?
Ooh, I do actually prefer the Winter Olympics to the regular Olympics.
I think yeah,
Do you know why?
because it's cold.
Because it's cool. Do you see what I did there? It was a joke.
Yeah, I got it, man.
Oh, thank God. Oh, I was
It was very good.
I thought you went over your head then. It's cool.
No,
Yeah,
no.
it's cool.
I was sitting here with my phone calculator working that one out. But yeah, yeah. Oh,
Anyway,
yeah.
well,
Mm.
everybody has to automatically like bobsleigh.
Well, yeah, because of cool runnings.
If you
Like,
you're automatically a racist if you don't like bobsleighing, and not just a racist, but a cunt.
Ever since I moved to Europe, I've been because everyone knows that True Running was a documentary. Like it was a fly on the wall documentary about the Jamaican bobsleigh team. It's entirely accurate. Like I've been going around various bars in the German, Swiss, and Austrian Alps, like looking for that fucking East German bobsleigh team, which in the movie like start a fight with the Jamaican bobsleigh team. And
Yeah, I'd like give it. I don't have a fucking word with them. They won't be fucking bobsleighing afterwards. I tell you that.
I've been going around with a ball peen hammer in my hand, breaking into bars, looking for those motherfuckers. Like, because they try any of that "Hey Jamaica" stuff with me. I'll tell you, they'll get fucking faces stoved in. That's also gonna happen, mate.
Fucking hate Jamaica. Who do you think they are?
In East German or Swiss bobsleigh team, I can't remember which it was.
Fucking, they lost 2 wars. Fuck you.
Exactly.
They didn't
Everyone
feel
knows.
the rhythm. They didn't feel the fucking rhyme.
Is it feel the rhyme or feel the ride?
I always thought it was rhyme. Feel the rhythm, feel
the
the
rhythm,
rhyme.
feel the rhyme. Come on, Jamaica, it's bobsleigh time. Cool
Yeah.
running.
Yeah, because it's bit of more music. Feel the ride. That sounds like that's more situational as opposed to. It's like.
But if you're
if
you're in a bobsleigh, you certainly will feel the ride. Like they're not famed for the suspension, are they?
Well, no, but then the rhythm. Where's that coming in?
Well, they're Jamaican. I assume that they feel rhythm at all times.
Yeah, and they feel the rhyme as well.
Mm.
Have you never heard Bob Marley and the Wailers?
True, everything he says rhymes. We're jamming. I hope you like jamming too. See, rhymes.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Well, first thing that comes to head, like Iron Lion, Zion, done.
But that was a cover. It was actually Brian Wilson from the what was his band? The surf band. The Happy Mondays, that's it. Brian Wilson from the Happy Mondays.
Yeah.
That was his song first, and it was originally called
Lion, Zion, Pion.
It was originally called Iron Lion Brian.
Iron Lion Brian. Fucking
Iron Lion.
I'm iron, like a lion, named Brian.
Iron Lion Brian. Yeah.
Makes more sense, really. A lion in Zion is not going to last long. He'll get noticed.
Like, Zion is a poetic name for the hills surrounding Jerusalem.
I don't even think lions haven't Jewish.
Some lions are Jewish. Like Scar from The Lion King, he was a Jewish lion.
Oh yeah.
You can tell. But like, the baboon in that movie, he's a Sikh.
I always thought he was Hindu.
Because of the Hanuman connection, because they've got a monkey, god. But like, no, Sikh.
That and the accent, the racist.
Oh yeah, good.
Accent.
Yeah. I do think he might actually have been voiced by a real African man in real life, though. So I'm not sure if the accent.
Well, I wondered when the toucan sounded like Mr. Bean.
Oh yeah. Especially since Mr. Bean never speaks in any of his roles.
Yeah, I mean that. It's a bit weird when your brain starts hurting because Mr. Bean's talking but through a toucan.
Exactly. It's just like those prophetic dreams that you had. You know, the ones where you gave us cryptic clues about the future.
Well, in my dreams, he just hits me in the face with that fucking bear of his and says, "Teddy." That I don't mind.
I fucking hate Mr. Bean, mate.
He's an evil motherfucker. I can't think of a single redeeming feature of Mr. Bean.
This is a real life story the other day from work, yeah? A fella from Afghanistan gave me a lift home on his scooter. And he said, "Oh, you're from England?" And he's like, "Oh, I like Mr. Bean." I was like, well, I can't. I'm on the back of this guy's scooter, so if I deliberately crash it now, we're both gonna die.
You're gonna have to kiss his neck.
Yeah, that's what I had to do in the end. Like, he was telling me about his wife and daughter, and but I understand that maybe he never spoke English all his life, and maybe Mr. Bean is what passes for entertainment in, a country that's been at war since 1979.
Well, yeah, they're not shy to violence. I mean,
Exactly.
they have a quite a macabre sense of
Yeah, but
humour.
I understand that things get a little dark and subversive when your country is invaded by three separate superpowers. But like Mr. Bean, it's taking it too far.
It's because the thing is, like, I
Mm.
mean, I know, like in your traditional kind of comedies, you would rip into like say Hitler and shit like that, like the Monty
Mm.
Python guys, or a
Yeah.
far stretch for some people, the Q series,
Mm.
um, Mel Brooks,
Yeah.
people like
Oh,
that.
like, yeah.
But the thing is, you had the
Mm.
mustache, you had the silly walk, you
Yeah.
had the latent homosexuality. But with
Mm.
Mr. Bean, you are portraying pure evil.
Yeah. You're literally face to face with genocidal fascism when you look at Mr. Bean in the eye.
I mean, Christ, could you imagine if there was more than one?
Mm. Oh God.
There wouldn't be
But
a
don't.
reliant Robin left on that fucking island.
It'd be a non-stop massacre. I mean, you look at the body count actually in Mr. Bean films, and it tops like Rambo First Blood easily. Actually, no, Rambo 2, Rambo
Be
First Blood
Rambo,
only is
it'd
like one.
probably be
Yeah.
probably Rambo 3 because that's in Afghanistan
Oh, good point. Yeah,
where they
which
like where they like Mr. Bean,
it's true.
which
Like
makes
he's a
more
national
sense.
hero to them. Hmm.
Makes more sense, especially when the Soviets were invading and Mr. Bean hadn't been made yet, and
Well, you'll
he was basically a legend on cave walls.
well you'll see footage from. It was just in the 3 days preceding 9/11, after the Taliban had assassinated Ahmed Shah Massoud. Like you'll see that like when Osama bin Laden's recording video messages for his cave,
Mm.
like praising Mullah Omar and the Taliban. In the background, there's Mr. Bean's Day Out on telly that he's just recorded on VHS off of ITV1.
Well, I did notice one time the flag behind them was a green mini.
Yeah, it was like, and people don't notice this connection.
Um,
Mm.
and if you look at the footage of 9/11, I mean, I know this is a
Yeah,
touchy subject, but the
well, yeah,
pilots were steering it on a couch on top of the plane
that's
with
how
a
they learn
series
in
of
like
ropes and
pulleys and
a
ropes
broom and a broom.
and yeah, and a brick on the plane accelerator.
Hmm.
But like, and people don't ask these questions because that's how they learn in the flight simulators.
Well, they fucking
You know,
they shot them out, didn't they?
yeah,
They shot them out. They said they were inside the plane. There's
no.
no way they would fucking fly a plane in the actual cockpit.
And the feds weren't asking these questions. Why are a bunch of people coming to our country, asking to go on flying simulators, saying, "I don't care about taking off or landing. I just want to learn how to fly the plane, but from a couch on the roof with my teddy, using a system of pulleys, levers, a broom, and bricks."
And I want to
And
make
the
sure
fact,
that the door's locked with a padlock.
yeah,
It's
like I
very
want
confusing.
I want to grab a fish from a nearby fountain and put it in a sandwich and eat it. That's what the Taliban are all about.
I
Well,
mean,
ISIS are very different
oh yeah.
because ISIS are all inspired by the Ben Elton series, The Thin Blue Line.
See, that's more the
Mm-hmm.
constant going red from sexual themes
Yeah,
and
and
refusing sex with his wife.
one
Makes more
there's
sense with ISIS, I suppose.
you see the main leadership of ISIS. One's like an Indian woman who looks a bit like Mira Sayal but isn't, and one's a bald man, and one's a camp homosexual. Like, oh, I can't even continue with this because the Thin Blue Line was so terrible.
Well,
Like
you
I'm just remembering it now.
you didn't even bring
Uh,
up the two detectives who were the
yeah.
sarky ones.
Oh yeah, the funny one. Yeah, the two
The
detectives from CID.
the mustache man and the kind of the black
Yeah.
eyed guy.
Oh yeah, and it had what's his name from EastEnders? That black fella. He plays Patrick in EastEnders, but I
Patrick.
can't remember. Yeah, Patrick.
Patrick. That's his real name as well.
Cool.
Patrick.
Patrick. Man.
Patrick. And then you had latent homosexual,
Mm-hmm.
sexually unsatisfied wife, token
Mm-hmm.
Asian woman.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You'd think
It's exactly like ISIS.
you'd think they'd have cast Mira Sayal, but it wasn't Mira Sayal because like Mira Sayal was the only Asian woman existing in the UK for many years, but it wasn't her. It was a different woman, yeah, and
It's
that's
different
what happened with
now. We have at least three
yeah
now.
yeah. There's Dua Lipa, and because Albania is in Asia, it's close enough. Um, and Rita Ora, she's Indian as well, isn't she?
Yeah. She's.
Yeah,
I've never been to a restaurant like, but
she's some kind of foreign, isn't she?
probably.
She just named herself after fucking Kia Ora anyway. That's how
Fair.
she's
No, that
so
is
big.
racist.
That's why she's so rich and famous, heir to the Kia Ora fortune. That's her dad, Kia Ora.
Orange juice. What was the other one?
Umbongo, the most racist
Bongo.
again.
They still sell that.
Yeah, they don't use the tagline anymore due to the horrendous civil war that happened in the Democratic Republic of Congo. But
Yeah,
like for
the
those,
Umbongo wars.
yeah, there was very very little umbongo that happened that was available for the people of the Democratic Republic of Congo to drink during the Rwandan invasion of 1998.
Well, the
But
mines
like
has been taken over, haven't they?
yeah, all owned by big international companies. Like just there's a pipeline that comes up through South Sudan, of course, which had a coup,
Well,
and
that's the
down
thing. Like,
Libya, of
a lot
course,
of
which
people,
NATO invaded Libya. It was all to do with the Umbongo pipelines.
don't understand. It was Coca-Cola, Kraft Foods, and Master Foods funding each side.
It's true. Like PepsiCo was in charge of the Zimbabwean military at the time. Like that's how things work in Africa. Either you join up with Nestle and become a child soldier,
Or
or
P&G. Yeah,
yeah,
P&G as well.
sometimes it's Johnson and Johnson.
Well, they cornered the market on the talcum powder, especially for the reverse
Yeah.
racism.
Mm.
They cornered that market.
Oh yeah, the whiting up concepts. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hugely popular in sub-Saharan Africa. Is the white minstrel shows that they put on, and I think they're good.
They white themselves up, but it's just part of the fucking capital TTT.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think it's good, clean, wholesome entertainment. Personally, they white themselves up and sing, grunge songs because they're the whitest of music. Just like just sing some spiritual grunge songs. They'll be singing like "Wood" by Alice in Chains, covered in talcum powder and with toothpaste on the lips.
Oh, what's
And
that other one they sing? If I could just
oh,
see you tonight, that's the one.
mm,
And they play the piano as well while going round on a truck.
yeah, yeah.
It's quite common.
Like I saw, it was like 50 dudes from Niger in West Africa, and they'd all whited up and they were playing by the Crash Test Dummies.
Oh, God.
I actually really like that song. I can't
I
stop
do.
liking it. But yeah.
It's very sad. And the man's singing in baritone, which is very nice.
Yeah.
He sounds like a dog eating toffee. Everyone's sad.
Like weird scars all over her body. couldn't quite explain
Everything is awful.
it. Yeah, that's how it is, yeah.
Yeah,
Of course, if you don't sign up with an international food or cleaning products company in Africa and become a child soldier, I mean, it's between that and get a job for a lot of people. So you see how it's an option.
I mean, who wants to get a job really? No one wants
Exactly.
to work. I mean, if you were
Yeah.
given the chance to go into some sort of multinational conglomerate food and detergent fucking moguls,
Yeah. Yeah.
or get educated, which one are you going to go with?
That's how they come into the villages in South Sudan or the Central African Republic, and they're there and they say, "Listen, like join up with us, like Johnson and Johnson Limited, like chop your own parents' hands off with machete, and then machine gun some other child soldiers, and that'll be your life. We'll pay you $5 a year, and all of the Captagon tablets that you can take, or you get a job in you get a job in a call center." It's easy to see why people make these choices, in my opinion.
I mean, them call centres are just one step away from that, really.
Exactly.
I mean, you keep your hands, but other than that, it's bloody
Yeah,
slavery.
Need your hands. Actually, no, you do need your hands to work in a call center. I mean, you could mash the keyboard with your stumps when you're doing call logging.
Well, what about what if it's outbound? What if you need to call someone?
Well, the calls are lined up on your program, aren't they?
That's
Like
true.
all you have to do is click. You can click with a stump.
Okay then. How are we going to log the notes?
Well, that's the point I was getting in the first place. You'd have to have some kind of speech recognition technology.
But then how are you going to do that while talking on the phone?
Exactly.
I mean, hello, this woman is a cunt. How can I help you?
Yeah.
I wish she was dead.
It's
These are real notes.
true. That's how I used to note my calls. Or sometimes I'd like to sell a little story when I was working in a call center. So I'd note the call, but then I'd be doing the call, but then on the notes it would be like M woke up on the day of October the 14th to find himself transformed into some kind of gigantic insect, and I'd just completely redo Kafka's Metamorphosis in the notes, just to leave a little treat there for my team leader, that he'd think that he'd have to go from your call notes, but in fact he's reading a classic of Western literature.
Fucking teach him more than he fucking know. Saying that, he's probably one of those types of the Buzz Lightyear haircut.
Well, I was working. It was a call center for King Leopold's Congo Free State rubber plantations. So there was quite a lot of hand chopping in that one. Like if we failed to meet our call quota, they would just chop our hands off. Like
I was going to say, it's because the thing with that is it's the numbers are hard, not because of the volume, but because of how much you've got to fucking do for that volume.
Exactly.
I mean,
Like the call volume is easy, but like logging everything properly, resolving calls and all that, doing callbacks. That's where it takes you time. But yeah.
Exactly. I mean, how else are you going to be selling the carpet cleaner?
But no, if we made like one simple error there, we'd be taken into the back room, and there was a man named Kruger there, wore a pith helmet, and he'd chop your hand off with a machete. Say, go collect rubber. Yeah, and that's how it went, because it was a call center, but based on the exact aesthetic of the Congo Free State. And you could try complaining to the Belgian government, of course, but they just said, well, King Leopold is the head of state of Belgium, but the Congo Free State's a private company owned by King Leopold. The Belgian government has no jurisdiction here.
Well, there's the thing, mate. When I was there, I managed to get his number.
Aye.
That was the thing.
King Leopold II of Belgium. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing.
He famously plays fast and loose on his Twitter though. So yeah.
No, it wasn't even that. He was just like, guy. He was. Oh fuck me, he was useless. He'd leave his fucking contact book out, wouldn't he?
Oh, aye. He'd leave
He'd
it
leave
round.
it out. He'd leave it out. I mean, he just popped out for a fag.
Yeah.
I just had a nip in, and it's there. It's not even fucking. It's not even X directory.
Not even like
Because that's the
he
thing.
has,
That's the thing. You figured it'd be X directory,
yeah, he's the
and
head.
that's why you don't look.
He's the head of state of Belgium. You know, like you'd think that he'd shell out what the extra 50 quid a month to get his phone number delisted next directory, wouldn't you? You'd think that, but no.
Because the thing is,
He's,
fair enough. I've always thought, nah, I'm not going to look in the directory. He's not going to be in there, is he?
no.
But there, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Regular number as well. It wasn't even like fucking. It wasn't even like a 1-800 number or whatever.
Really? Like you'd be looking through the
even.
you'd be looking through the old yellow pages and shit, looking for King Leopold. Like you get to King Lollopild and King Liam, different Belgian kings. But I had never found King Leopold, so obviously he had some strings to pull with. But like, no. So did you ever end up calling him?
Oh yeah. Didn't go down well.
What do you have to say for
I was
himself?
like, how are you doing? And he's like, I mean, he only answered in that, really. He didn't really say much. He just went, anything I said was kind of annoying him.
Yeah.
But when I got out, though, your man came back from his fag phone call. Who gets the raise? Who's off the fucking phones after that?
Oh, you were floor walking after that. That's how you get. See, in jobs like that, it's all social competence. Your ability to do the job is secondary to your ability to phone up King Leopold, who's, at this point been dead for I think 120, 130 years.
I think that's why that's why he wasn't saying much. I mean,
that and he only really spoke Flemish and French when he was alive.
I'd be pretty tired if I was him.
Yeah, like being Europe's one of Europe's like lesser known criminals, like genocidal maniacs.
He's a fucking horrible boss.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
But you were the one walking around in the white suit with the ivory cane, floor walking around his call centres.
Well, that's the thing. If you want something, you got to put your bollocks on the table. I mean, and I was ready to go hammer in my hand. I mean, it's standard procedure on a phone call, really.
Yeah.
But on this one, the hammer was a bit bigger, so I was like, ooh, can't withstand it this time. I got the floor walking.
Yeah.
Got my own pith helmet this time.
Lovely.
You've got to buy your own. That's the only problem.
Yeah, like you have to get them from the works catalogue, don't you? But like you do. I got
it on layaway. I couldn't afford it straight away.
Nice.
I couldn't afford it straight away.
Yeah.
Bring your own pipe.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like a 3-day course for it because you've got to learn to kick the living shit out of people without really damaging your fingernails, which is doesn't come.
I understand. Yeah. No, it's like there's a certain level of submission that you've got to expect from people to do it. Like it helps. Like if you get one of your like underbosses, one of the team leaders, to put them in like iron shackles first, and then you can just beat them to your heart's content.
Well, I always had the personal touch. I always got involved.
I see. You were a hands-on kind of manager. Yeah.
I mean, that training did help because my fingernails would just keep popping off. Like fucking springs. Pooh! Because I'd be whipping them and whipping them and whipping them, and they just fly off again. I was like, I'm going to have to wait another 9 months for them to grow back, you bastard.
It's true.
And it would just end up in an argument after that. Nobody wants that after whipping.
This is why I got them fingernail veneers. Like, you'd look at my fingernails, like, and they look like natural fingernails, just maybe a bit whiter and cleaner than you'd expect. But actually, veneers what they did.
I always thought they were fucking white.
Yeah. No. I went to a fingernail dentist, and he said, what we'll do is we'll grind these down and put kind of porcelain veneer over them. So, he took put my hand next to the angle grinder, Just ground down the tips of my fingers and replaced them with porcelain tips. And I've never been happier. They're not quite as durable as real fingernails.
I was going to say, is there any loss in feeling with that?
I mean, at the tips of your fingers, yeah, but there's always a price for looking good. And I can
usually get
just
food underneath them.
sometimes, like, especially since now I'm taking advantage of the lack of sensitivity. I can basically just eat ice cream with my hands. I do that a lot, and you do end up with
I can't do that. It fucking knackers.
Yeah, like
I mean,
a lot of people.
I chew like a bastard, but get it on my fingers.
Yeah.
I'm squealing, mate. I get fucking hand freeze.
Right. So yeah, like before this, I had sensitive fingertips, so I'd never, or put, when you put your fingers in a cold drink, and it just you get that horrible pain in your fingertips. I never used to do that, but now I've been replaced with veneers. I can just go around sticking my fingers in cold, hot, doesn't matter.
What about when you're rubbing it across a hairy Turk? Part of that you want to feel.
Yeah, like sometimes when I'm at home, I'll just rub the palm of my hand over like some industrial gauge sandpaper. I'll do is I'll get some rendered lard or olive oil and put it on the sandpaper first to give it that authentic Turkish feel. But I've got to say, I think that's the biggest thing I do miss is running my fingertips across the nape of the neck and the lower back of a oiled, like sweaty Turkish man. I mean, I miss that the most of all.
Especially if they've got one of those, you know what I mean, like it looks like the top half of the chest is just like spilling over.
Yeah, I understand.
They're wearing an executioner's hat.
Yeah, like an executioner's mask.
Cowl,
yeah,
that's the one.
Yeah.
And they're holding a very ornate, large saber.
Oh yeah, the sabers I think are important to the whole aesthetic of the thing. Like you want them in the leather wrestling trousers, in the executioner's cowl, and holding like an ornate Arabic scimitar of some kind.
No shirt.
No shirt. No, God no.
How are you going to sit there?
Exactly. And then and you say, "Will you?" No, it is. It's getting a little hot and heavy, isn't it? Especially when you say, "Will you recruit me as a janissary for the Ottoman Emperor's elite corps?" And they say, "Yes, but first sex." But anyway.
I need a court of eunuchs. Then I'd feel better.
True, you don't feel like a powerful man unless you have 20 or 30 and they say it's toxic masculinity, which I think is a bunch of bollocks. Yeah, bollocks. We're talking about castration, but anyway. But yeah.
I see what you did there.
It's a clever joke.
It's funny one that was.
Yeah, I didn't even mean to make it. But yeah, I say
you're a poet and you didn't know.
I'm a poet and I don't realise.
You didn't know it. Anyway.
I don't get you, mate. You scaring me. Yeah. Anyway, they say it's toxic masculinity. You'll see those listicles often in like Jezebel stuff like that. 10 signs that your man has imbibed the milk of toxic masculinity from the internet. And you see like 3 or 4 on the list. Always 3 or 4 on the list. Because first it goes like sitting wrong on. First it's sitting wrong on buses.
Sitting wrong on buses. I mean, have they ever tried sitting with a pair of bollocks and a Ford Fiesta engine?
No.
How the fucking hell am I going to close my legs with a fucking engine there?
Exactly.
Sods.
Number 2, it's something, it's some whiny thing that women complain about, like, doing rape or something like that. But number 3 is always, you're not allowed to have 20 or 30 people that you've castrated at 12 years old to do administration for your medieval empire.
I mean, it's lucky enough that you kind of allow the executioner, but...
Yeah, well, executionism's apparently an equal opportunities thing. But castrating boys so that they don't form a threat of forming their own landed aristocracy, since they have no offspring to pass on their land and titles to. So you can use them to administer your far-flung and ethnically diverse empire, like a Chinese emperor or Ottoman emperor. That's apparently toxic masculinity nowadays.
Exactly. It's like, I mean, for one, they don't have a penis and testicles. Number
Yeah.
two, who's going to do the fucking admin work?
Exactly.
It's about, because the thing is, you can go on forever about fucking, oh, this is bad, oh, this is bad. It's like, what are you replacing it with?
Yeah.
What have you got anybody who hasn't got genitals who can do my fucking admin? Where am I supposed to find that? I can't find any ghost dolls. I've got no fucking terracotta army that comes alive at night.
No.
No,
Like,
I've got to make me fucking own.
You want me to get the landed aristocracy to do this, so they eventually usurp power from my dynasty. That's what they want. It's communism. That's what it is. That's Marxism.
They're fucking ridiculous.
Give the eunuchs a silver tube so they can piss properly. You know, you're not harsh about it.
I mean, it's not even like it's not like they totally don't agree with it. I mean, I don't ask them or care.
No, yeah, but like, it's only like 20% of them die during the operation, so
20% people die when they get hit by a car. You know what I mean?
And no one says ban cars.
Or ban hitting people with cars.
Or ban driving drunk. No one says that.
Or deliberately running over people.
Yeah. Like,
I mean, they do
deliberately
all the time in the US.
Remember that Abraham Lincoln speech? Like 20 years ago, our ancestors came to this land to establish a country for the people, by the people, where you could run people down in your car if you wanted. And that's the Gettysburg Address.
Especially in crowds.
Yeah. Crowds, like groups of protesters especially. Like anyone who's fair game to be run down in a car in America. That's the law there.
Shop fronts as well. They're not immune.
Oh yeah, especially if it's not a well guarded shop front from bollards. That like
Well, bollards is just part of the fucking it's deep state shit, that isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Keeping patriots out the fucking front end of a shop with the car.
Was that a thing when you were young, that you found out at disturbingly young age what ram raiding was and why they were putting bollards outside of Morrison's?
No, it never. I always understood it. I always worried more for the back of the car.
Well, like the car reversing out of the shop that it's just ram raided.
Well, no, because most of the time they would just leave the car there, and the car's towed.
Yeah.
Which is your God-given right to do, but still a shame on the back of the car.
It is, yeah.
I do.
That's a bit.
I mean, the shopkeeper. That's kind of, it comes with the territory. Dead on the floor, don't mind. But the back of the car, that's pretty sad.
Yeah. I mean, it's what it really is just a means of exchange, isn't it? It's just, I want, all the money out of your shop and probably some of the goods as well, but I'll pay with car instead of cash. That's what a ram raid essentially is. It's an equal exchange of goods and services. The car's not cheap.
Well, no, especially when you're not buying it.
Yeah. I
mean, money's to a penny. I mean, fucking hell, go to any bank, full of money.
Yeah.
But when you've got to go around and nick the thing,
when you've got to find a Vauxhall Nova, like on a council estate, and do the trick with the left rear headlight that like short circuits the central locking system, and then drive that round with your mates, drinking like White Lightning, and then eventually ram raid a shop. Like that's real work.
Get all the fags and booze. Yeah. And jazz mags.
Yeah, fags, booze, jazz mags. Like, don't bother opening the till. Just grab the whole till in itself. And then you do a runner.
Lots of lollipops.
Yeah. All the Chupa Chups lollipops that you can get, man. You like pick up one of the entire lollipop trees.
I mean, we used to. Yeah. No, a bit naughty, but yeah, we used to buy the Chupa Chups off them.
Oh yeah, no, you go
I mean,
go
to
down
be
the
fair,
pub
he
and
was too old at that point.
yeah. Well, I remember, man. There was
Like, they come up and they're like, "Do you want help from shop, mate?" And I'll be like, "Can you get me a tray of Chupa Chops? I'll give you £3." I wouldn't give them
yeah,
£3. They do it
no,
anyway, and they go, "Oh, sorry, I've only got 50 on me." They're like, "Oh, you have it anyway."
yeah.
They
They
had
were like,
paid.
oh, well, mate, no.
Well, they had paid, but not paid.
Well, the only problem I ever had with them was that they'd always take the blueberry ones. They'd take the blueberry ones out because they were a currency in prison. The blueberry Chupa Chups lollies. Like, so they'd send them to their mates on the inside,
See, I
and
didn't know there was a blue. I didn't know there was a blueberry one.
like, it was. I mean, it wasn't the nicest one. The nicest one was the cola one, in my opinion. But it
Ah,
was a
fuck
blueberry.
off! I don't
Yeah,
want them. No, it's cherry,
but
or raspberry.
I like the cherry one. But you could produce a similar sensation by holding something really like hot and stingy to your tongue. Like if you got like your mum's hair straighteners and just like pressed them down on both sides of your tongue. That was exactly the same taste as a cherry chupa chops.
Nah, mate. If you want that, you'd go for the Madras.
Oh yeah, the Madras one, but the Madras one had a more tandoori style flavor though, didn't it? That was like going around
It
your
wasn't as fruity.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Had a
you
bit
had the,
had
you
a
had
bit of a
the.
coriander taste to it, didn't it?
Yeah, it was more like that. I mean, I had the mango chicken lollipop, and fuck it, didn't
Yeah.
work. Didn't work.
Mhm.
Mango with chicken.
Nah. Like when will people learn, man?
I
That
mean, they had
sweet
the
fruit.
roast chicken lollipop.
Mm.
If you
No,
like
that,
your
that was a
chicken crisps, you're fucking gonna love them.
that was a nice savory lollipop. That was good with you go to a pub for a pub lunch, and they'd bring you some of those lovely thick cut chips. You know, them ones that
Steak
like
chips, yeah.
yeah, lovely lovely steak cut chips and some brown sauce strap over them, and then like 5 or 6 roast chicken chupa chups lollipops on the side.
Oh, fucking
Oh,
gorgeous.
no, that was a top feed, mate. A lovely meal, in my opinion. Or like, you
Oh,
know,
I'm gonna have to make that now. You can't
mm,
get them here.
no,
No, I mean you can get like French Caesar
mm,
salad. It's a bit
oh yeah,
garlicky, like, but
yeah,
it's not the
but it's all
same.
no, it's not. It's all these European flavors, man. They got a different flavor profile to us. You want the nice, because like what I liked about them is they perfectly recreated the flavor of like and the texture, which was unusual for a lollipop. The flavor and texture of the crispy skin of a roast chicken.
Also, I mean,
Yeah,
like the European ones, they tend to be like all in ones. So, like,
yeah,
say French chicken Caesar salad. Whereas
yeah,
the other ones, you could get them in combination. I mean, you get the chicken one. The
yeah.
potato one was fantastic at that point.
Yeah, you'd have a suck of the roasties one, and you think, "Ooh, that's nice, but it's made my mouth a bit dry, so I'll have a suck of the gravy one as well."
Oh, the gravy! Oh, fucking hell! You can't have
Yeah.
anything without the gravy one.
Well, yeah.
I mean, Christ, I walk around with the gravy one in my mouth.
Mm. Yeah, just to have the. It's like a palate cleanser, isn't it? Gravy, the refreshing taste of gravy in your mouth all day. It's like a sorbet. Like,
Oh, it is nice. I suppose it's a bit like when it's like chewing gum, that minty sort of thing, but
yeah, it makes
gravy.
your teeth feel clean when you have that just taste of gravy in your mouth. It's like when Frey Bentoff started selling that tinned carbonated gravy.
It's better for meetings as well because, like,
Mm.
I found when you eat an entire tube of tree ball mince to impress your boss, he's
Oh
not
yeah.
best pleased. But when you stink of gravy, Christ, he gets handsy.
Now I've done eating an entire tube of tree ball mince to impress my boss. I think what you've done wrong there is you haven't eaten the mince directly in front. What you've got to do, yeah,
Well, I did eat him in front of him. I had one half of the packet in one side of my mouth, one side of the other, and I was like at full volume. How can you miss that?
I'll tell you what I did to get my last promotion at work, yeah? Like, I grabbed my boss, yeah? And I started forcing him towards the wall of the office, yeah? Held a staple gun to his temple.
As you do.
As you do, yeah, and just to make sure he was paying attention, because he was an easily distracted fellow, my boss. And then with the other hand, I was holding a staple gun to his temple, just pinning his head against the wall, like putting maximum pressure on his head. So he was at a slight angle, but you could still see me. He was still looking at me. And then with my other hand, I just started stuffing like the extra strong mince pack into my mouth. Like I'd taken the paper off the packet, but the foil was still there.
See, I come in, I pulled my trousers down, and then I started slotting them in. Like I'd kind of halved them before I come in, and then slotted them with inserting it into the cheek with the little finger, and then when I pulled my trousers back up.
Yeah, I see. That's a more classical method, but I think that your boss would have just regarded that as maybe a little out of date, maybe a little. Oh, he's one of these ones who's read the importance of how to win friends and influence people. He's one of these fellas on the make. You got to add your own kind of personal spin to it. It's like
that's why I brought in. Well, that's why I brought in the lollipop. That's why I brought in the gravy.
Yeah,
because it didn't best impress him, and I was like, because I've been told about. I mean, I wasn't fucking fully into it, as you probably know, because I have a fear of tree ball because it's my name backwards.
I understand, yeah.
But with the great, I was suggested though, and I think that's what pissed me off the most. So when I came in with my style, which is the gravy, and I'm self-assured enough to keep his hands off the goods.
I understand, yeah.
I'm getting money first.
You tie up his hands behind his back with an extension cord is usually the best way, and then just start like.
I use my fucking shoelaces.
Right. At my work, I take your shoelaces off you 'cause it's suicide risk, but.
Oh no! I hid this in my cheek like an hamster.
I understand, yeah. Yeah. Also, he got the added.
I've got Velcro shoes. I've got Velcro shoes. I'm not that smart. Christ.
No.
You think I can tie a shoe?
Oh, like I forget that. I forget that you didn't attend private school, did you?
Well, I did. I've still got these PhDs, but.
No, you attended university, but it's private school where they teach you how to tie a shoelace shoe rather than a Velcro shoe, which is what the public school teaches you.
Well, they did have a class on it. I didn't have time for it though, because I was studying like a bastard for the subject I don't know even now.
Yeah.
It just missed me.
Was it?
Yeah, I don't know how to do that. I can't try a shoelace to save my fucking life. I mean, Was it forgetting that your doctorate's in? Ooh, I can't remember. I can't remember.
We'll never know, really. We might have to. We'll do some research on your transcript, and we'll have it as a big reveal at the end of the season, shall we?
You'll be a fucking reveal to me because one, I need to know where I was studying. 2, I need to know the subject, and 3, where is the certificate? I never received it. I mean, I know I had this PhD stuck on my name, branded onto my arse, but
Well, do you remember anything about the location other than the fact that they were like those faceless grayscale, like? Because I remember you describing it to me when you'd first gotten home, and you were saying that like. The building itself was just like this kind of nondescript grey cube in the town.
Well, this was the thing. Like I was even teaching at the time, but everybody, including the girls, were either named Noel, Liam, or Ben. So it was really difficult to pin down any sort of individual, any identity of the place. Because
and you were telling me about their faces, that like they had faces, and you could see the faces. but it looked like they were shaking their head so rapidly that all the features were blurred all the time, even though they didn't appear to be shaking at all. So yeah,
For the majority, the rest of it was just like flesh over it.
I understand. Yeah,
Flesh over the nostrils, flesh over the eyes, flesh over the mouth.
you could
And
see that there'd been something there, but it looked like they'd had some kind of tumor disease that had caused them to grow flesh over every face orifice.
I mean, I called it faded. They
Yeah,
basically they forgot who they were.
I understand. Yeah.
They forgot their own face, which happens. I mean, we all forget.
Mm-hmm.
Who's not forget what their own face looks like?
Well, honestly, I most of the time I can't see my own face, therefore, like I regard myself as not really having one because I have
I always imagine my face to be really, really big, but then I look in the mirror and it's not as big.
no, like I because when you're looking out from within your own face, it seems like it's the whole world, doesn't it?
I feel more like Crash Bandicoot with the mask
Yeah.
that goes ooga booga.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's how I feel.
Mm.
That I'm a floating disembodied mask
I understand. Yeah.
that gives a bandicoot powers.
I feel more like that I'm. You know how children from the age of 3 to 5 draw people as basically a head with arms and legs sticking out of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's mostly what I feel like because in many ways, because I've told you before, I think on this podcast that I don't have any object permanence. Like, it's a thing most people learn at the age of about 18 months is when you can't see an object, it still might be there. But I never got the hang of that.
No.
Like people have tried to explain it to me, but like so when I'm forced to draw what a person might look like, I'm forced to just rely on my own interpretation, which is a head with I'm not that
With
hot with
legs.
counting. Well, I'm not hot with counting, so I don't exactly know how many legs I'm supposed to put on there. So usually I just draw like 5 or 6 squiggly lines coming out of the head,
I mean, this makes more sense.
just
I
at
mean, I've
various
seen you
angles.
try to
Yeah,
drink a cup of tea.
yeah.
It makes more sense. I mean, how
Yeah,
many
drinking.
arms? How many arms are we
Mm.
talking here?
Well, like I say, I mean, I know what the numbers are called, if you understand what I'm saying. I can count. I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I
Yeah.
know the numbers. I know the names of the numbers. But you point out a number of things to me and say, how many is that?
You don't you can't think of numbers outside of the abstraction.
Yeah, I
There's no real
because
base for it. Ah.
when you see three of something, for example, it doesn't look like a three, does it?
No. No, it doesn't. I mean, I saw three llamas.
Yeah.
None of them shaped like a three.
No, like none of them were shit. So there's no clues. There's no like handhold for you to understand it. Because you know, words look like the things that they are. Like, I
Well,
saw a
yeah, because
Richard the other day.
you look at a word and it says the word, doesn't it?
Yeah. I saw a Richard the other day, and it looked, the man looked Richardy. He looked like the word Richard.
It did help.
That's
He did help.
how
He
it.
had the tattoo, to be fair, but
Well, yeah, I mean that, but that's me going around with my tattoo gun, isn't it? So I don't get confused.
well, he won't get confused from now on. I hope his name was Richard this time.
Oh, I
Yes,
made that mistake so many hundreds of times.
hundreds and
Hundreds and
hundreds of
hundreds of
times,
times.
thousands of police hours wasted. Ooh.
And I'm easy to track down as well. I don't understand how they keep letting me get away with it.
It doesn't help that your dad's the police.
Yeah, all of them. My dad's every police officer. It was it. Like, it's a dark story from my mum when she tells it, really. She plays it off as a kind of joke at the time when every police officer in the world was my dad. But,
It's pretty scary, mate.
yeah.
Especially when you're one of those all cops are
Yeah. All cops
brilliant.
are... all cops are bum boys. All cops are bum boys.
Bum boys.
Bum boys.
They had sex with a bum.
Cops are bummers. They put their willy in a bum. They put their own willies in their own bums.
And they wee in the bum. They wee
Well,
in the
that's
bum.
what happens when you get sexually excited. You have a wee.
In your bum.
That's how homosexuality works, Robert. Like it's all men. It's all men weeing each other's bums. Wee each other's bums until they're catched.
You're supposed to just do it on your own.
Until they're catched with a lurgy. That's what they do. Because that's how you get the lurgy, by having a man wee in your bum.
Or cooties. I was going to say, like...
And we never mentioned, like, yeah.
I mean, I give myself...
Is it an Anglicism, or is it a specific thing from Northern England? Well, not Northern England, but like West Yorkshire and the North East. Like, did you have cooties or the lurgy?
Oh, we didn't have... See, lurgy, where I'm from, is the sickness that you get around September, October.
Ah, right, yeah.
Or lurgy, or the lurg, which is this annual thing. What did we say? Oh, fucking hell.
Lurgy was how an American would use the word cooties.
We didn't say cooties.
The imaginary childhood disease that comes from doing gross things.
I think we just said germs.
Yeah, germs is also another one.
Germs. Anthrax.
Anthrax is a quite advanced one. I quite like that. Oh, yeah, don't touch me, you got anthrax.
You got anthrax, mate. Leprosy.
You got fucking anthrax and other thrash bands of the 80s. Like
I'm part of the big four, mate. I'm Metallicans.
No, we're not going to talk about Municipal Waste, even though they're quite a more fun party band. But yeah. Like, what's your favourite draft gravy?
Draft gravy. Oh God.
When you go into a bar and they've got their lagers and their stouts and their ales and the ciders and then the gravies.
You know what I like? Onion bastard.
Oh, onion bastard's a good one, but it's one of those craft gravies, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
See,
I want draft gravy. If you're gonna have draft gravy, what's the fucking point in having the major brands? Who wants a Bisto?
Well, I can only get a Bisto here.
That's you get that at Weatherspoons, mate. It's fucking cheap piss. Cheap piss. I mean, it's not even OXO.
Well, what I've tried to do is bring my own OXO cube into the pub with me. Just ask for a pint of, boiling stock and just crumble the OXO cube into it. But if they catch you doing that, they'll kick you out.
You fucking dick. You fucking...
Yeah.
Right. Nah, mate, nah. It's onion bastard or chicken disaster.
Chicken disaster's good. I quite like the. I got the specialist one from Australia called. It was called venison cunt. Just had a picture of Steve Owen on the front of the bottle. But that was an Indian pale gravy.
I was going to say that must be an old one.
It was the one that because they made the Indian pale gravies because they had trouble exporting gravy to India. It would go off on the ship, so they had to up the beef marrow, the bone marrow from cows content, so it wouldn't go off.
Oh.
And that's what gives an Indian pale gravy its unique flavour.
And it's slightly gelatinous.
Yeah,
that's probably from the marrow. Anyway, Adam, I think we've come to the conclusion of this conversation.
All right, it's time to stop. It's time to stop and think about what we did here today.
Yeah, it's time to stop and feel heavy amounts of shame till next Sunday.
Well, what I like to think in this podcast, is like at the end, at the end of a good stabbing, when your arms your arms aching and you maybe broken a finger or two and even have some wounds on your hand from the knife slipping through your hand because of the blood.
I have a similar feeling after going swimming.
Yeah, when you're exhausted but satisfied with your work, and it's time to stop stabbing the man because he was probably dead 50 to 60 stabs ago.
It's either that or an aggressive wank where you've just stared at someone in the eyes. Like dead in the eyes until you finished, and then you've been dragged away and put in the back of a van.
Mm.
Anyway, young Adam.
Yeah, let's wrap this up like
Rap.
a mummy.
Rabbity rap. I'm a
Wrap
rap
this up
man.
like Snoop Dogg at Christmas.
I'm a rapping man. I'm the rap.
Goodbye, everybody. Like, if you listened, you can't have this time back. It's
Never
ours now.
again.
We're adding it to our life.
Okay then. Bye and Merry Christmas.
Fuck off, everybody.